choosing human wisdom and perception over God's wisdom and guidance, as Adam and Eve discovered in the garden, leads to the fallen condition. Listen as Aglow President and CEO Jane Hansen Hoyt reads from Chapter 4, The Strike, from her book, Master Plan.
Adam was to eat a lot, freely, plentifully, of the trees God had provided for his sustenance and strength, most specifically of the tree of life. Adam, having free will, could choose not to eat of the provision God had made, but it would be in direct disobedience to the command. God the Father was urging Adam to partake of his life, the provision for Adam to be able to stand against his enemies. God knew what disastrous results would be suffered if Adam refused to partake. Brokenness, pain, loss of peace, death. Even while living, God wanted to establish him in his sonship, not just a created son with the breath of God in his being, a living soul, but a living spirit with the life of God flowing within him, empowering, enabling, and enriching every facet of his life. Satan turned them to their own wisdom, their own way, the way of the flesh, in which nothing good dwells. Romans 7:18. He successfully turned their focus away from God and onto themselves as the center of their lives. The fruit of their actions was instantaneous, broken relationship. Satan turned the intended combined strength of the genders, which is what God intended, into confusion and fear and mistrust in the wake of their sin. They realized they were naked and they experienced shame. They scurried to cover themselves, to hide from the presence of God. Can you imagine the disbelief and horror that must have registered in their hearts and minds as they gained the ability to recognize good and evil? Having partaken of the fruit that gave them such knowledge, having eaten it and chosen it as their life source, they now had an intimate knowledge of both good and evil deep within their beings. Their lives would never be the same. It is important to note that God never intended Adam and Eve to remain ignorant of good and evil. He always wanted them to know the difference. Isaiah 7:15 tells us that when Jesus, our perfect example, came, he would know how to refuse the evil and choose the good from an early age. God always intended for Adam and Eve to choose his spirit, represented by the tree of life, as their source of life and wisdom, rather than putting upon themselves the pressure of discerning between good and evil and looking to their inadequate humanity as their source of life. After they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, they lived from their self-centers. What they judged to be good or evil would be determined by the immediate effect it had on them. Whatever felt good, looked good, tasted good, or seemed good to them would be deemed good. Whatever felt bad, looked bad, smelled bad, or gave them a bad experience would now be referred to as bad. They, without the benefit of divine wisdom, eternal perspective of God's insight, would choose what was good and what was bad. This incident in the garden, which we know as the fall, proves the point. You gotta serve somebody. Although Bob Dylan, who penned those words, is no prophet, this song title of his is true. By choosing to go their own way, Adam and Eve effectively placed themselves not under their own authority, but under the rule of Satan. They changed kings from God to Satan. They changed kingdoms from the kingdom of light to the kingdom of darkness. And they ensured that all their descendants, including you and me, would be born into a fallen condition under the rule of our enemy.